Clayton, welcome back to the podcast. This is a new series that we're going to do, a little bit of a review of our episodes and what we thought of having a chat. And we'll start off with episode 52, which was former boxer turned commentator Barry Michael.
What a champion bloke. He loved a chat.
He did love a chat.
He loved a chat and gave us the full repertoire of the history of his boxing career and his life and so forth. I would like that'd be a fantastic read, that book that he's going to put out. Like, it'll have so many chapters to it, but he's got so many different stories and topics and to talk about.
Well, one thing I found interesting, he was a little bit before my time. Like, he was at his height, early 80s or late 70s, early 80s. So I didn't really remember any of his fights, but obviously knowing the boxing history and Lester Ellis and those type of fights, it was interesting to listen to. But even the other side, away from the ring, with the underworld and Alphonse Gangitano, who became sort of recently more popular through Underbelly.
Through the Underbelly series, and obviously a lot of known with the Carlton crew, and like you said, it's been on television and so forth. So yeah, to mix or to be on the wrong side of Alphonse, there's not too many people survived to tell the story.
Yeah, so that was a good listen, and I found that quite intriguing. It's quite interesting that boxing always seems to have a colourful identity in the background, or some sort of association, and one of my questions was, were you ever paid to lay down? And there's always thoughts around that and questions around that as well.
Well, it's in the sport, but I guess the word boxing and colourful racing identities, they do mix, you know what I mean, between horse racing or boxing and underworld or underbelly people. They all mix.
Yes. Do you remember seeing him fight?
I do remember. I remember that fight that he was talking about with the Barry Michael Lester Ellis fight, where he won the fight and then he defended a few titles and so forth. But I remember him. Yeah, absolutely. As a kid, remember watching him.
And he's gone on to now be a commentator, and he writes also for the paper and that type of thing around the boxing.
He's very good behind the microphone. His knowledge and boxing and so forth, and he's always speaks very highly of the boxers and so forth. But he's very, very knowledgeable boxer. You can tell he's been in the game and so forth. But one of the things that impressed me the most, and I spoke about it in the podcast, and I don't know what it is, but boxers just seem to have this natural habit. They can remember times, dates. Like Barry Michael was talking about, that guy was a southpaw. Like, it was just unbelievable. You know, how many rounds it went for, like the individual fights, and he's just rattling off names and who was in his corner and that type of thing. And like I said in the podcast, you and I mix with guys like Johnny Lewis and Garth Wood, and I listen to Garth, and he can just rattle off fights and who fought what guy and how many rounds. And Johnny's the same. I mean, he can remember blokes, and obviously Johnny goes back to when Adam was a boy. He just turned 80 years of age, but those type of things, those boxers, they just seem to remember shit like that. I don't know how they
do it.
I don't know how they do it, but they just can rattle it off, you know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing we didn't mention, Barry actually ran for Senate.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And he was part of Clive Palmer's group. So that probably would have been an interesting chat as well. And we didn't get to it due to time. But
what a crossover, Clive Palmer and Barry Michael.
Yeah. So that might be another chapter in the book that comes out that he can listen to. So.
Absolutely. But I love the part, like, and you see a lot of boxers like this where they just start off in the gym. They've got a dream, or they just go in there as a young kid. Like he went there with his elder brother to the gym. And it just started. He got hooked, and you see it so many times. They just get hooked. Jeff Fennick was the same. You know what I mean? Went to Newtown Police Boys, and Johnny was looking for some sparring partners, and Jeff put his hand up and look at history, 4-time world champion. You know what I mean?
Barry was the same.
Garth was the same. He used to go there and watch Jeff Fennick and those guys. Jeff the Hitman Harding. They used to train there at Newtown. And they just go there and watch it. It just becomes in their blood. You just hang around the gym and you just want to be a part of it. And I see it with some young guys in gyms and that now. They just get a sniff and, yeah.
It was certainly a good chat. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Our next episode is with Kate Mackerel from Three Fishers Interior Designs. So keep your ears peeled for that one. That'll be a good chat as well.
That's a good chat. Yeah, some good ideas.
So thank you for tuning in again, and hope you enjoyed this podcast and the previous ones. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the KRGS Doors Podcast. The KRGS Doors Show, proudly brought to you by KRGS Doors. For all your shopfront roller shutters, roller grills, folding closures and bifold doors, visit www.krgsdoors.com.au.